Alright, good morning guys. Today I'll be talking about the basics of registering for your AMC Step 1 exam. Now as we know that AMC is becoming very attractive options for a lot of IMGs right now because of the fact that after passing AMC 1, the doctors can directly apply for internship positions and get paid from that. So it's a faster route as compared to USMLE Step 1, Step 2 because those two have to be cleared before one can apply and start working and continue their medical practice. Now, this AMC Step 1 is equivalent of passing USMLE Step 1 and 2 as well, 2 CK. So, the AMC 1 exam, the MCQs are less based on the basic information from medicine and more based on the clinical skills and clinical knowledge, especially the diagnostic skills of a doctor. So today we'll be going over how do you register for it and how long it's going to take, the documents needed for it, and at the end I'll also be doing a breakdown of the cost. So you can compare the cost of AMC1 with USMLEs 2 and the other popular exams such as the PLAB exam as well. Now to start off, the documents that you need are firstly your passport. Now this passport has to be valid when you're applying for it because a lot of the students right now when they go to apply for it or during their time of graduation, their current passport is towards their expiry date, and what mistake they make is that they use the expired passport to apply for it, thinking that their expired passport as it's linked to their degree will be the one that's used, but that's not true. You need to upload your passport that is still valid, and it needs to have a signature page. Now as I know that the Indian passport, it has a signature page on the first page, whereas the Pakistani passport, it has a signature page on the second page. So if you have a Pakistani passport, you'll have to combine the first and the second page together. Now, the problem is in the third scenario when you don't have a signature page on your passport. In that case, when you apply for ID verification, you'll also need to supply them with a scan of either your driver's license, another ID card that has its signature on it. Because when you go to write the exam on the day of your the exam day, they'll need to see the signature and the ID card that has a signature on it. So that is very necessary, and especially if you don't have a signature yet on your passport, like you haven't done the sign, just get this done. Now, the second thing is a photo with a white background, and third is a sign. They'll need your sign on a white background because later when you go and establish your MyInTealth ID and your Epic account, they'll ask you to have an online notary and you'll need to sign somewhere, and that's the sign that will be used. And lastly, you'll need your medical degree. Now, this medical degree is not needed. Later on, I'll tell you about the steps. It's not needed for the first step, which is the establishing the MyInTealth ID and the Epic portfolio. But it is needed while establishing the AMC portfolio and registering for the AMC exam. Now, this medical degree does not need to be attested or have any attestations done. It just needs to be an original scan of your medical degree. Because when I uploaded mine with the attestation stamp on it. However, they rejected it and asked just for the front page, the main degree page. That's it. Now, moving on to the steps of getting your AMC exam booked. First, you'll need to make a MyInTealth ID and then an Epic portfolio. Now, this MyInTealth ID is important because when you go and apply for your AMC portfolio, you need to add your MyInTealth ID to it, right? And that is how AMC is going to know that that is your documents coming from Epic, and Epic will know to send your documents to AMC for that. Now, for the first step for MyInTealth ID, we'll come back to these documents. Only the first 3 documents are needed. So I would suggest if you're in the last month or the last 2 months of your university, of your medical program, it's better to get your Epic portfolio established, start your MyInTealth ID work, and by that time when you graduate and you have your diploma or your degree in your hand, you can directly proceed with your AMC portfolio. Now I'm saying this because the MyInTealth ID and the Epic verification can take from anywhere from 2 weeks up to 2 to 3 months for some of my friends. So it's better that you get it done early because it does not require your medical diploma. Now, once you have your MyInTealth ID established and your Epic verification done, it's time for the second step, which is establishing the AMC portfolio. AMC portfolio is basically you making an account and uploading the documents, verifying that the documents that Epic is sending them are your own documents. And after your AMC portfolio gets established and it's confirmed, then you can move on and get your do your AMC exam payment and register for your exam, the AMC MCQ1 exam. Now you don't get a choice. You don't get to choose if you want to do AMC MCQ1 or the AMC2, because it's already in the system. They'll see that your passport is linked to your degree and you don't have any AMC exams, so they'll directly jump and give you the AMC Part 1 exam. So you pay for that and you can go on and choose that exam. Now, when it comes to AMC portfolio, right, when your portfolio is getting established, you'll also need to make a separate payment for that. There's separate payment for MyInTealth and Epic, and there's separate payment for AMC exam payment. Now, moving on to the payments. Now the MyInTealth and Epic, they cost 230 USD. So now it's divided into 100 USD for the MyInTealth ID, and then 130 USD for verifying your diploma and your passport. So the first passport and diploma is going to cost you 230 ID, 230 USD. Sorry, and later on, when you're progressing in your career and you add more certificate, per certificate is going to cost you 100 USD. Now, coming to this MyInTealth ID's verification, right? The time it takes for your MyInTealth ID to get verified and for your documents to get verified is also heavily dependent on your university's response time to Epic. So what happens is that when you upload your diploma, the Epic, the people at Epic are going to send your documents to your university to verify them. So at that point, it's better for you that you can email your own university and give them a heads up that an Epic email is coming, and that makes the process faster, because you're also behind your university to get your confirmation done, and then Epic is also waiting for them. And in my case, I was also emailing my university, and the whole MyInTealth ID up until getting the notary done and getting the verification completely done took 2 weeks. That's it. For some of my friends, that took about 2 months. So just keep that in mind, because in the beginning I wasn't aware how long it's going to take. Somewhere online on the forums I read it takes 2 to 3 months. So I was concerned, because in the beginning, right now, in what stage you are, there's not a lot of information available about the first 2 steps. There's abundant of information about this and how long that takes, but this time period is going to help you realize what date you're planning to do and when you can plan to give your AMC exam. Now, coming after that, after your MyInTealth is established, you can just go to your AMC portfolio, establish it, and it costs 642 Australian dollars, which is about 405 US dollars. And after that is done, they'll give the option to proceed and pay for the AMC MCQ exam, which is 2,920 Australian dollars, which is about 1,840 USD. Now, after your AMC portfolio is done, the problem I faced is that they recognized my original diploma as a provisional diploma, and what that meant is that I couldn't register for the exam. So I had to email the people at AMC. They're quite responsive. It took about 2 days for them to correct the mistake, and I could proceed with the AMC MCQ exam. Now, just a few tips to that's I've read online, I've experienced them myself, is that first, try to book maybe 3 to 4 months ahead. For example, if you're trying to book right now in February, then book for about May or June, and that will give you enough time to prepare for it, get all the resources done, and have your mental thoughts in line and be mentally ready at that point. And the total comes to 2,475 USD, and that includes MyInTealth, includes AMC portfolio, and AMC MCQ1 as well. Now, after your AMC MCQ is booked, you have about 21 days from your test date that you can change your exam date to some other day. However, right now, it's 2026 March, and right now there's a lot of destabilization in different countries going on, so the airspaces are closed, and because of that, a lot of students couldn't attend their exam, and they were very helpful with that. And they're saying that you can even change your exam date up to 24 hours before your exam. So if you have a legit reason, for example, you got really sick, you got into an accident, or some international problems happen, right, the ones that are going on right now, they can change and cancel your exam, and you can rebook it later on. However, just remember that the days are about 5 to 10 days per month. So the seats are limited. It's always first come first serve. And if you're in Tbilisi right now, or you're in one of the GCC countries, the closest one from Tbilisi would be Turkey, and the closest one from GCC would be there are a lot in India, there are a lot in Lahore in Pakistan, then there are a few in Malaysia as well, and there are a lot of countries. And in the following videos, I'll also be making how do you book a test, and how do you select the center, how do you book your dates. And yeah, so this is the whole point of this video: the total amount, the steps for it, and the documents needed. If you have any questions, you can drop a message in the WhatsApp group, and in the description below I'll also be sharing the links to the My Health Epic app, the website for that, the AMC website, and also the website where you can see what dates are available and where are the test centers for the AMC examination. And that way you can plan better. And if you would like to join the WhatsApp group, the link will also be in the description. And thank you for watching the video, and consider subscribing, because I'll be making a lot more videos and giving out the resources that I'm using and that I used, and I'll also be sharing the lectures that are important for passing the AMC Step 1 exam. Thank you.